Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the new European destroyer, Tier 7. Ostergotland Stig. Main man Stig on the screen there. He's in the commander seat for this build. Note, we didn't quite finish grinding out the ship when this game was played. 2 of the 3 mods. But nevertheless, the ship is working as intended. Trident domination mode, we got the center spawn here. And there's a carrier in the game. So we got 3 destroyers. Presumably, most likely 1 per cap, and carrier. Now the Oyster AA, I believe I have the AA mod on it, but my rating's a 70, which is about as in-depth as AA stats as I really ever get into, but it's pretty good, especially when we get that AA consumable there on the bottom. So keep an eye on the AA performance, the anti-air, as the match progresses. We'll see it in action. I think that's kind of a good balance. I think the French need good AA as well. I don't know if they do or not off the top of my head, but for these destroyers that don't have the smokes and kind of can get completely dominated by the aircraft carriers if they so choose, I feel like a good balance to that is to have strong AAs. So pretty good on this one. It's not lights out like the Friesland, but it's pretty good. It's pretty efficient. We got zoning torps in here. I'm thinking maybe the York, looking like he might be getting them, but he is kind of angle in and park right on the far side of that island, right before the torps actually get him. So would have been a nice, glorious open. York and other German cruisers, very dangerous to destroyers. We got to make sure he doesn't decide to turn on the gas and pursue us. If we get in range of that sticky German sonar, cruiser sonar, well, that's pretty much the end of the game in most instances. So got to keep an eye out for those. Those are, not quite as the same threat as a radar cruiser, but very similar. You got to be kind of repelled by that, like a magnet, a polarized magnet. All right, so we're trying to capture the base here. We're going to see if we can get these torps reloaded. Summers pops up, though, so we got to stop worrying about the base and worry more about getting him off, or at least protecting ourselves from him. So he's kind of charging in here. We're going to have some good support from the team. And you can see on the map, both sides have support ships that are close to these destroyer fights. Most of Reds are blocked by the island, except for the Flander, I believe, that's pulling out there, which we're going to try and get a torpedo strike on him. Even though we're going to have to hit the beach here, that's all right. It's worth trying to take this shot. If we can get a wicked shot on him, that'd be nice damage. These torpedoes, 90 knots in the water, I believe. And you can boost that if you get Fishman, the Commander Inspiration, lightning fast. And so we conceptualize torpedo speed as accuracy, basically. The enemy has less time to change what they're doing, which means the torpedoes are more likely to hit targets than much slower torpedoes. So very, very good torpedoes. When you get them, I see a lot of values around the 9,800 damage or something like that. So you get pretty decent damage on these. But we'll get a few torpedo strikes. You can keep an eye on that throughout the match. Or 8,900, I guess, is the more accurate. So, decent damage, but very accurate. And overall, quite enjoyable. The reload on the Oyster is a little bit longer than we were seeing on, like, the Tier 6 or whatever. The Skane and some of the other lower tiers. It seems like those torpedoes were always reloading very quickly. Not quite the case on the Oyster. A little bit longer, but still, not horrible reload. Maz pulling in here. We're trying to get him off the board. Hunting destroyers. You can see Red's already killed one of ours, but we did put a little bit of hurt on the Summers early, and Maz getting tag teamed here, and down he goes. That's going to be our first kill this match. Vlad, we lost him, but I'm just going to launch basically where he was last seen. If he's vigorously pursuing, trying to push up, trying to take on this battleship, he'll probably run into those. If he hides behind the island, then they'll probably miss them, obviously. We're going to head towards these planes and also get on the cap at the same time, but we want to be trying to... we'll be seeing the AA, I guess, in this next sequence. That set of planes is already dead, and you can see the Vlad slowing down, so I'll have to reload the torps and see if we can get him again later. Summers, he's briefly spotted here, relatively low, about 5,000 health. We're going to see if we can get a little bit of damage on him. You see, despite being up 2 ships to 1, 3 ships to 1, scoring a bit of an issue here. We got a very small lead, and all 3 caps on the bad guys control. So we need to flip this situation around as quick as possible. Here we go, firing up the consumable, the anti-air booster. And we'll get some pretty good results here. I think we wind up wiping most of the squad here, trying to team up with whatever this battleship is to our north and see if we can prevent him from getting too much damage. We also got the other destroyer coming in here to help us with the capture. Excellent. But continuing to melt some of these planes. Always good to see. Anytime you can shoot the buggers down, you're going to have a good time. So, Vlad looks like he's tired of just sitting there watching the game go by. So he's beginning to think about moving forward. We almost got the base captured, and it's off to the next. We don't have enough time to be sitting here. We're certainly not going to trade a bunch of HP, suicide rushing of Vlad. So we're going to throw one strike out there. If it hits him, fine. If it doesn't, oh well, someone else will have to deal with him. We'll be on B, trying to affect the game score. We got a guy sailing through A. I think he's going to fail to capture the base. He's just intent on charging, and the cap just happened to get into his way, so he's not actually trying to capture the base. Or maybe he's on there trying to capture it, but he keeps getting reset and gets fed up. York, pretty low here. Ooh, 4 hits on the Vlad, and ooh, he gone there with a vicious strike. All 6 torpedoes whacking him, and the Vlad goes down. York trying to get a double here. Check this out. Do we have it in time? Got the kill. No double? Felt like a double. No double. Oh well. Big swing there. 3rd ship of our game taken off the board. How do we get into B? Well, we got the Flander here, but he's going mostly horizontal, so he's not really preventing us from getting on the base. We got the Torps coming up here in about 30 seconds. We want to get on the base, see if we can nuke the Flander. And then, well, we got 3 ships left. We got 3 kills already. Possible we could go for a Kraken. You never know. But we definitely want to make sure, before we even start thinking about any wild ideas like that, we got to get this base. We need 2 bases to 1 at the minimum. For some reason, our team's having a real hard time capturing A, despite having a 4-to-1 ship advantage over there. But we won't rely on them, of course. We'll do our own due diligence here. Trying to get this Flander down here, though. So we launched one through the gap between the island and the dead body, and then we're waiting to let him pull forward a little bit more. We're going to launch one more on the right-hand side of that dead body. So we don't want that dead ship there blocking the torpedoes. Look how fast these screamers get on target, man. Those are downrange in a hurry. Piling out with the guns here. We need the kill. Oh, the dead body got 1 torp block, and the Georgia, the torpedoes were trying to bail him out and keep him alive. He blocks the other set, but 2nd set coming through here and looking good. That's looking like if ship's still alive, that's going to take him down, and boom, there he goes. Base, 10 seconds left on the capture there, and it's off to the races. Now we see the carrier. He's a popular spot on this map for carriers. They love to go behind that island and sit there. But he's getting chased by a destroyer who's about a 1.5 squares away from him. And we got this battleship to the south of us. He's got about a 1.5 squares lead. So I'm like, well, man, I would love to get the Kraken on the carrier. It's great when that carrier sinking noise is paired with the Kraken metal flashing on your screen. That's a high that most people chase their entire lives. But how are we going to kill him is the real question. The other problem is we got all 3 caps. Now the score is going to run up quickly. We still got 7 minutes on the clock. Not 7 minutes left in the game, just due to the fact that our team did a great job controlling the bases. I don't know how to do the math that quickly off the top of my head, but we got just a few minutes left until the game is resolved on score here. So, well, we're probably not going to get the Kraken unless our team can kind of chase that destroyer towards us. Now it looks like he's sitting there on the island. I don't know if he's hiding from the Fiji, who's to the north of him. There he is, the Benson. Doesn't look like he's too long for this world. So I'm kind of banking more on the carrier at this point in time. So as we're moving into position here, we'll just give you the thoughts on the ship and the line. I think the tiers 3, 4, 5, kind of ho-hum, middle of the pack destroyers, nothing too special about them. Not bad. Had some good games in them for sure, but didn't send a thrill up my leg. Tier 6, the Skane. I started to enjoy that one quite a bit. And then the Oyster here at Tier 7. I like this one quite a bit as well. So I think they're worth pursuing. Pretty strong overall, these destroyers. The Tier 6 Premium as well. Pretty good in its own right. So I'm enjoying the line so far. I know the legendary tier versions of these, when we get them, they should have just like insane AA if they're like the PC counterparts. I think they just shred planes on that game. So that'll be interesting. That it might be down the line a little bit here. Of course, the tier 8, same thing. We'll see that someday, but probably not too soon here. Benson, oh god, get out of there. We need your sweet carcass on our death list here to get this cracking. Got a shot off on him. Got a couple shots off downrange. Parsifal, okay. Yeah, how do we get the guns on him? We're just going to have to turn all the way around here. Well, yeah, they already got him. Not going to work. All right, Destroyer. And this is one of the beauties of this Twisted Track. Now, I have it on pretty much all my Destroyers, I believe. Anyways, I think it's probably the best perk in the game, showing you this little half moon indicator. Where's the rough position of the closest ship? But this guy, he's either got two options. He can run to the southwest, do a hard turn if he's trying to really run away like a pro. That's probably where I would go. Or if he's trying to sneak in some torps or do something crazy, well, then he's going to be more south. And that's what the Twisted Track's telling us. So we can get a pretty good idea once it flipped a little bit to the left that he was moving right to left. And now we're just going to zero in on him, and we're going to have our guns ready because this guy's health is low. We want the kill, and we need to get ready. So he felt the pressure from the planes there. He's on the border. We just kind of let the computer aim for us here, and boom, there he goes for the Kraken. So that's a look at the Tier 7 Ostergotland for you. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming for you all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys, and see y'all later. Peace.